The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Hello everyone, thank you for joining this webinar. Before we begin, I just want to ask everyone to make sure they can see their screen. Through the GoToWebinar application, you'll see a raise hand icon. If you could just raise your hand if you can see the screen I'm sharing. Just waiting for one or two more. Okay, seems everyone can see the screen, so we shall begin. So firstly, again, thank you for joining this webinar. This webinar today is going to be for our Bria Stretto soft phone and receptionist operator features. And what you'll see in this webinar today is a brief overview of what the Bria Stretto and the receptionist operator or receptionist client is and how they work. Firstly, we'll start off with what is the Bria Stretto. So the Bria Stretto is a soft phone application that can sit on a user's mobile, PC or Mac device. The application itself acts as an extension to your Clarity service, allowing users to make and receive calls without the need for a physical desk phone, giving the users the ability to continue working outside of the office. As standard, the Bria Stretto allows users to make video calls to others within the Bria environment. What we'll do now is I'll bring up our Bria Stretto for the desktop onto the screen now, and we'll just go through a little bit of making and receiving calls, searching enterprise contacts, importing contacts, etc. The Bria Stretto is a downloadable application. It can be downloaded through the App Store for Apple devices, Google Play for Android devices, and for PC and Mac users, this is a downloadable option once enabled on the Clarity Phone Manager section. Credentials are created by us here at the Clarity office. So here we've set up our user here, and we'll just sign in now. Here we go. So the app is very simple to use, and upon first login, you will have your keyboard here. Now this is used to make your calls. You can use your keypad on your computer, or you can use your mouse and dial the buttons individually as you need to. What we'll do is we'll just place a call in now just to show you how it would work. Upon entering that number, we can click the enter on our keyboard, or alternatively we can click the dial button just to the right hand side. You'll see on screen there that the call was initiated to the mobile, and to end a call it was just a simple matter of hitting the red handset button. Through this application, you can search for your enterprise contacts. These are colleagues of yours within the using the Clarity system. So if I was to search for a colleague of mine, I would start hitting his name into that search function, and any contacts coming back looking under that name will appear in this list. And if I wanted to make a call to a colleague of mine, I can click on that number, double click, and the call will be initiated. If you wanted to add contacts to your Bria Stretto client, it's certainly possible. You'll see here a small person of an icon. This is where your list of contacts will be. Immediately what you'll see is a button here to add a new contact. Clicking on this, you can give it a display name, enter the first and last name, and you can enter a name here. It's important to make sure that this tab is set to the correct function, whether it's work or mobile. I will search this to mobile, and we click add, and then OK. You'll see here now, as part of my friends list, this number is then available, and it gives me the options to call this contact. There is the ability to be able to upload contacts using a CSV file. To do this, we have the contact section at the top here, and we can import contacts. It will then ask you how you would like this, how you would like to upload this. So we would use the CSV file here, and you can then browse the file that you would like to upload. Once you've browsed and added that, you click next, and this will start the import process and import your contacts into the Stretto application. If you needed to look back on your call history, down here you'll see the icon of a clock. Clicking on this will bring up your last dialed numbers, your outbound calls, and any missed calls. This can also then be filtered using this option here, and you can see which calls you may have missed. The Bria Stretto application comes in a number of ways. You can take the Bria Stretto application on a single license option. This will allow you a single license to be used on your PC, mobile, or Mac device. Alternatively, we have our basic bundle, which allows a single license to be used on up to any 4 devices at a single time. This license will allow you to add the Bria Stretto to your mobile, your PC, your Mac, or even your tablet. The third option we have available is what we would call our business bundle, our Bria Stretto business bundle. The Bria Stretto business bundle offers you all the options you have in the previous 2 packages, with the addition of being able to send IM messages, and for desktop users, the ability to share your screen. This account here is set up as a business bundle user, and you'll notice I have 2 icons just standing above here. If I was to click this, this opens up our Windows, our message window. Through here, I can start a conversation to colleagues of mine who are also on the business bundle by searching the name, and then I can start sending messages through this application. Now what you'll see here is that my colleague Mike is currently offline. When he does appear back online again, then he will receive this message from me. Another feature of the instant messaging is the ability to create chat rooms within the Bria environment. You can choose to create your own room. Bear in mind, setting it to private will allow this room to only be accessed by users that have been invited. A public room will allow any user within your Bria business environment to be able to join. As a desktop user, you have the ability to share your screen with other users, not just those using the Bria environment, but also those outside as well. Clicking on this link, you will have the option to show which monitor you would like to share. You can also copy your screen share link to clipboard, and this can be sent through emails, text messages as you'd need to, and you can generate a new screen share link as well. Now we will see more of our Stretto client in action in a moment, but what we should do at the moment is go through what is a receptionist group. A receptionist group is a call group aimed towards one or more receptionist users with call handling capabilities far beyond a standard user, offering user monitoring, contact lists, and handling multiple inbound calls at once. It also offers a call queue feature that can play queue positions and comfort messages to offer a personalized touch to callers. What I'll now show you is just a few of the settings that can be set up for the receptionist groups through our SMT administration portal. One of the first pages you'll see is our call delivery page. Through here, you can change your distribution method. How will the calls be presented to the receptionist operators? You'll have a queue length. How many calls can be queued if the operators are busy and taking other calls? Bounce actions for when calls need to be bounced from one agent to another. You can also set up an overflow function. This overflow function can work in the respect that if calls are being queued and they have been waiting for a long amount of time, you can set this to bounce a call to an additional action, such as transferring it to voicemail or transferring to an alternative number. You also have a stranded call action. Your stranded call action is when the operators themselves are unavailable, and you can continue leaving those callers within the queue, or you can have those transferred to voicemail or again transfer them to an alternative number. You can assign operators, moving them from the left-hand column, the available operators column, into the call center operator, the reception center operators, using the key functions we have here. Please bear in mind that every operator added to a receptionist group incurs its own billing charge, so it is not advised to jump agent operators in and out of these queues. Operators have the ability to monitor users within their InClarity environment. These will appear on their own dedicated list through the Receptionist Client console, which we'll show you in a moment. And each operator can monitor different users by using the drop-down menu here. At the moment, this operator, Mr. RC Agent, is currently monitoring these users here. If there was additional operators within this receptionist console, then we can click on this drop-down menu here and change the agent as appropriate. The receptionist groups do come with their own open periods. This allows calls to flow into the operators during opening times, and these opening times can be aligned to customers' office operating hours. This allows the option of closing at certain periods, so calls are not always being pushed through, and they can use their own on-close action here to tell the system what to do with the call outside of standard operating periods. The receptionist groups also offer announcement availability. An entrance message can be used as callers call into a receptionist group. Clicking the mandatory button will mean that the caller will have to listen to an announcement before it starts to ring any operators. Unticking the mandatory means that the message will play while the call is being presented to an operator. Estimated wait times can be set to advise queue positions or estimated wait times to the callers. This can be set to play to any people in the queue less than 100 callers, and you can even advise the system how frequently these messages are played by using the play estimated message every X function here. If callers are put into a call queue while operators are currently unavailable, then you have the ability to play music to those callers while they are waiting. There are generic files on the SMT portal that can be used. If you would like to use your own music, then a file can be sent to the InClarity team for this to be uploaded. You also have the option for comfort messages to be played. These can be used in a number of ways. Some people like to advise callers that their call is important to them, and other companies may take the advantage of this comfort message to play any promotions or company messages they would like to give their callers. What we're going to do now is just show you the receptionist console for the Broadworks. It is important to note that the receptionist client is not a soft phone in and itself, and it does need to be used with an end terminal, whether this be a physical phone sitting on a user's desk, or whether this is the Bria Stretto soft phone that we'll be demonstrating this with at the time. To launch the receptionist client, this needs to be done through the phone manager. Once the agents are enabled on the SMT portal to be operators, they can navigate to the phone manager page on any web browser using myphone.inclarity.co.uk, and using their own personal extension number, DDI number, they log in, and their password will be the same as their voicemail password. On the right side here, you'll notice there's an option for receptionist client. We launch this client by clicking on that hyperlink just below it. When you first log into the receptionist console, you need to head over to our settings page, and under application, you need to ensure that the group itself is ticked and enabled. If this is not ticked and enabled, the operator themselves will be classed as unavailable and calls will not be pushed through to operators. This will then follow any stranded action set up on the SMT portal. Once this is ticked, we head back to the application itself, and you will see the screen in front of you. On the left, you'll notice the call console itself. Through the call console, you can enter a telephone number you wish to dial, and use the dial option here. What this will do, this will call back onto your InClarity device. In this instance, it is our Stretto client, and we answer this call. This will then send an outbound call to the number of our choice that we have typed into our box up here. You can also view your call history through the receptionist client by clicking on the call history tab here, and this will give you a breakdown of your missed calls, received calls, or any dialed numbers. When a call enters into the receptionist group and is presented to the users, you'll see this come up here. This operator has now taken this call, and you can see the call information here. If a second call was to then come into the reception group while an agent was on the phone, you'll see this down here in the group. Through here, you have the option to manipulate the calls, so we can place one call on hold, and while doing that, we can then answer the other call. Additionally, what we can do is we can transfer a call to a colleague of ours. If we was to open up our favorites tab where we will find our monitored users, we can click on one of the agents and transfer the call. This then sends that call off to that user. We've now ended those calls within session, and you'll notice that the call console itself is empty. You can also have a view over the calls coming into your receptionist group and those that are queued. If we click on the settings icon here, we can edit our queues here, and by enabling that view, we will then have a view of our call queue. So any queues coming into the receptionist group will be displayed here. We'll make another call quickly for a moment. Do that again. Okay. So through the Stretto client, we can also manipulate these calls without the use of the receptionist console, just like you would on your handset. But we see this call is active and in session at the moment, and we will transfer this off to a colleague using the Stretto client, the receptionist client. I open up that contact, and I can then transfer this call to that particular user. That call has then been transferred off to a colleague of mine, and they can then deal with that. We'll give you another example of handling multiple calls at the same time. So a call has come in to our reception group, and it is being answered. And you'll see this now call isn't active. And while that agent is on the phone, we will dial again. And you'll see here that the call comes up in our called queues. We can retrieve this call, or alternatively, we can transfer this off to a colleague. If I then press the transfer, that transfers off to a colleague. The contacts themselves, you will get a view of what we would call our enterprise contacts. These are the in-clarity contacts within your customer's organization. And through here, they're able to see personal contacts they might add. In a soon to be released feature, you will also have the opportunity to view any contacts that you add through our phone manager portal, including your own personal and any shared contacts that you might have added. On top of that, You're also able to show the speed dial functionality as well. So any speed dials that I have entered into my phone manager, as you'll see here, I've entered a speed dial here. As the operator, if I choose speed dial, it will show any speed dials that I've created through the phone manager. That is what we've prepared for you today, and I hope you found it useful. I will answer any questions you may have now, and I'll give you a few moments to type them up if you do have them. While I wait for any questions to come in, I will say if you do have any further questions after this webinar, please feel free to contact us at presales@inclarity.co.uk or on 0207 952 1800. Okay, I've not had any questions come through. So again, if you did find this webinar useful, that's fantastic. And if you do have any questions, please contact us at presales@inclarity.co.uk or on 0207 952 1800. Thank you.